getting or booking the appointments for the office is when we actually get to the appointment, before we've even stepped foot in the office, is to make sure that you qualify the student. You want to be qualifying the student and the parent who is there. So, Mrs. Jones, if we decide that leadership is right for you and your child today, do we have your husband, your spouse's goodwill to move forward? Do we have your spouse's agreement? You know, a simple question that's asked, and more often than not, those of you that were brave enough and those of you that implemented this technique from day one had a higher level of success than those of you that didn't qualify the student and the parent who showed up at your martial arts school. Some of you were just so pleased they showed up for the leadership upgrade, you just went in bowling into the office and began and proceeded to waste a 40-minute duration of your time. Some of you it was in prime time, unfortunately, to realize that, oh, you got one of these. Well, I just need to check with my husband, or I just need to check with my wife, or I just need to check with my mother or my father, whoever it is, my granddad, the dog, the cat, whatever excuse they make. To pre-qualify. Before you step foot into that office, pre-qualify the prospective student that they have, one, the authority to proceed in the meeting. If they do decide that it's right, they have the okay to move forward. Oh, one more thing before I move on to layout and the seating is to make sure as well they have some form of payment with them. And don't be afraid to ask, did you bring some form of payment? Great, congratulations, please step into my office. Okay, the layout. How should your office be laid out? What is the seating arrangement? Now, more often than not, I've been into several offices. Some of them sit across from somebody. My best experiences, personally, when I'm doing an upgrade, is to actually sit at 90 degrees to my prospective student and parent. I will actually sit next to the parent, and I'll have the student sit furthest away from me, obviously, and sat and be in an upright position. I also would conduct upgrade appointments with the student even there at times. And my preference, ideally, would for the student to be there, to sit up straight and be quiet. And here's why my preference would be for the student to be there. Because at times, when I'm going through a presentation, I want the interaction of the student. In concert with that, I would get the student's permission and the student's okay to obviously get their parents' permission to have them participate in the leadership program. Also, there would be times during the leadership upgrade that from time to time little Johnny would begin to lose concentration and start to misbehave or sit inappropriately, of which I would quickly bring his behavior and get his compliance to my request to sit up straight and be quiet and keep his arms crossed. And again, it's just another demonstration to the parent of how important our leadership was to them and their family. What a real difference they could make. Because look, I can have Johnny sit there for 30 minutes with uninterruption, without a single interruption. Just again displaying an effect of what real leadership and mastery of the martial arts can really do for your son. Wouldn't you agree, Mrs. Jones? Great, congratulations. Match and mirror. Match and mirror the people that you're with. Now, I'm not going to go into a big NLP seminar here or sales pitch, but listen to how your prospective parents speak. Watch how they're sitting. And again, there's a thing called pacing, leading and pacing, and we'll cover some of that later on, but it's matching and mirror your customer's physiology. You do want to be leading the conversation. You are there to lead, but at the same time you do want to be sensitive and aware. For example, if a parent comes to you who is very calm, very quiet spoken, and speaks very quietly and steadily, the last thing you really want to do is be speaking at this pace and be ramming all these great benefits to them down their throat and tell them how wonderful the leadership program is, because they really won't hear what you're saying. So it's very, very important. Again, you can practice the matching and mirroring skills whilst in role play, whilst you do this exercise during staff training. You need to ask questions and use the PA. Of course, we have the leadership and the office section completely scripted for you. But you need to be aware to be able to ask questions. What improvements have you seen in little Johnny, the nose picker? What improvements have you seen? Has he stopped picking his nose? Great, congratulations. Again, these are all questions that you already know the answer to because you've been following up with these people. Use the person analysis. Have the PA, the original PA that they signed up with. Incidentally, if you want a copy of a PA, let me know. And again, drop me an email, masterchilds@gmail.com, and I will forward you a copy of a PA that you can use. and follow the scripts. I've even had people or clients have new staff members who didn't know the script, so they made them read them and still have a better close rate. Read the scripts if necessary. The scripts are that good. And follow the presentation. We have, of course, a presentation for you online. The presentation enables you to keep on track, stops you wandering, going off track, stops you having these meetings go for an hour and 40 minutes as opposed to just 30 to 40 minutes tops. So follow the presentation. The office